My girlfriend gave me a 23andMe on Christmas so I can find my father, but what we discovered left us both speechless. My girlfriend Sarah and I have been dating for a little over a year, and our relationship has been going very well. We both happen to come from the same town and met each other in college. Here's where the FU begins to unravel. Last year for Christmas, Sarah decided to come over and stay with me at my apartment for the holidays. I also had decided not to go home for the holidays either. Plus, all my other roommates were back home visiting family, so we had the whole place to ourselves. It was perfect. Christmas Day rolls around, and Sarah had bought the both of us 23andMe DNA kits. The thing is, we were both conceived by in vitro fertilization via sperm donors. Both of our fathers were infertile, so our parents had no choice. Deep down, the both of us were hoping to find our biological fathers through the service. Fast forward less than a month later to today, and both of our results are in. Sarah comes over to spend the weekend and we go through our results together on our laptops. We compare our ancestry and health reports and nothing seemed off. I even found out I'm 2% Native American. All was well until we arrived at the DNA relatives section. Sarah tightly holds my hand and says, I hope we both find our fathers. Then I open mine up. At the top of my screen, I see Sarah's name, 27% DNA shared, half sister. Sarah starts hysterically laughing and tells me to stop joking. I don't react to anything she says and just stare at my screen in disbelief. I then abruptly grab her laptop and open up her DNA relatives section. You see the same thing. My name at the top, 27% DNA shared, half brother. At this moment, my brain just completely short circuits. I've been having sex with my half sister. My mind starts going 100 mph, and I begin hyperventilating, going into a state of shock. I can't even remember what Sarah was doing at this time. It's pretty self-explanatory by now, but for those of you who don't understand how we could be related, it turns out our moms were probably both fertilized by the same sperm sample. There are no words I have to express what my mental state is now. To put it in simple words, I feel traumatized. Part of me still won't stop thinking about how much I love Sarah, and then I realize our entire relationship was incest. I honestly feel disgusted standing in my own skin. I've even been contemplating suicide. Sarah and I haven't talked at all since going into shock. Update. After a long, dreadful night full of surprises, I woke up the next morning questioning everything. I called bullshit on the test and immediately called Sarah. She picks up telling me she's already booked an appointment with a genetic counselor. Good. We're both on the same page. The next day, we meet with the genetic counselor specifying in patients who take tests with commercial companies. TLDR of what she said was, while the ancestry reports can be interpreted with a degree of skepticism, DNA matches are determined directly through the raw DNA data, meaning the connection is either there or it isn't. We asked if there was a possibility that we contaminated each other's samples. She said that our samples would have been flagged by the system. Even if our contaminated samples magically made it through the system, we would have been shown to be sharing completely identical segments, while 23andMe showed we only share half identical segments. It was basically confirmed by a specialist at this point, and the same feeling of dread I had the other night began to set in again. Sarah and I spent the rest of the day calling both of our parents and explaining everything. We all came to the conclusion of Sarah and I taking a weekend trip back home to see how this all started. This idea came to me the same night when the whole ordeal began. Ever since that night, Sarah and I, understandably, haven't been the same. I've been trying to mentally cope with my emotions. The logic part of me is telling me, incest bad, not right, break up, while emotionally, I still love Sarah. I'm having this constant battle in my head, and I'm sure Sarah is too. All of this was especially apparent when Friday rolled around. We both packed our bags and hopped into my car. During our entire drive up north towards home, not a single fucking word from the both of us. 5 hours later, we finally made it to Sarah's house. Right before we exit the car, my brain decides to short circuit. I grab Sarah's hand and lean in to kiss her. She stops me, looks me in the eyes, and after a brief pause while teary-eyed says, no matter what the outcome of all this will be, I'll be leaving having gained a brother. That ST hit me hard. We both hug each other and start crying. 2 hours later, my parents arrive, and we all sit down and formally meet for the first time. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention how this is the first time both my parents and I are meeting Sarah's family? Both of our mothers brought the sperm donor IDs. For those of you who don't know what that is, when a woman has received a sperm donor sample from a cryobank, it comes with an ID that is unique to that specific donor. Our mothers compare the IDs and they're a match. Sarah and I were conceived from the same donor. The rest of the night was spent discussing what to do going on. As much as I still had feelings for her, Sarah and I came to the conclusion of breaking up. We decided to go to a bi-weekly counseling therapist to help us get past all this crap and transition into a sibling relationship. We spent the rest of our weekend catching up with our families and headed back to uni on Monday. As of now, 12 days later, Sarah and I are going to therapy together, and we've maintained a friendly relationship, still keeping in touch throughout the week. Mentally, we're both much better but still have a long way to go.